Okay, in this video, I wanted to show you a couple additional effects that you can do um, for, like, you can incorporate into your layout. So here is what we originally submitted, right? Our stopping point. But for those of you who feel adventurous, or for those of you who want a little bit more, um, I wanted to show you a couple things that you can do for your images, for your swatches, um, and some effects that you may or may not know um, existed in InDesign that you can do. It's a very powerful program. So for the first thing I wanted to do was kind of show you some of the different effects that you can do in InDesign. So as you can see, we have our garlic image here. I'm going to bring it to the front so you can see it. And we have that white background behind it. Well, in InDesign, you have the option of going to Object, Effects. You can go to Transparency. And in here, you have different blending modes. And there's a blending mode that actually removes the white background from an image, and it's actually called Multiply. You can see I've got my preview button on so you can see what happens. And you can even adjust the opacity of that if you want. I actually want it at 100%. And I'm going to increase this size a little bit. So it's just like an image, just the treatment is a little bit different, right? The effect. You have also the ability to increase this using your percentage box up here, or if you're looking for a key command, you've got, make sure you select your object, and you're going to hold down these three buttons, Shift, Option, and Command, and then you're going to drag the corners, and it will allow you to manipulate the box, the frame, and the image all at once. So it's kind of nice. So I'm going to put that right here for now. I also kind of want to refine my type. So I'm going to select my kitchen tips. And for your Adobe Creative Cloud subscription, you should have a great variety of fonts available to you. So here I've changed my typeface to Gill Sans. You can see what else is available to you. But over here, you actually have buttons that will allow you to make everything all caps all at once. And I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. And, right, you can actually adjust the kerning. So kerning or tracking is also, it's also called that, is the space between the letter forms. So I'll zoom in, and I would encourage you, please zoom in while you're working, and you can increase it. And so I think you've probably seen this in different places in your life, like kitchen tips sometimes. I'm going to adjust this a little bit. Okay, I'm going to keep that there. Kitchen tips, and we're going to do garlic. That there for now. Okay, and so this texture, I'm trying to figure out what to do with that texture. But if you remember, if you recall, for this particular image, we saved it out in Photoshop, not as a CMYK image, but as grayscale. And what that allows us to do is for the grayscale image, it's just like a normal image. You can move it around, you can size it up, you can size it down. But if you actually hold the center of it, right, like we're looking at the properties of the photo, here's the percentage, so that hasn't changed. But what you will see is the ability for us to actually select that, and you'll see that there's a fill color, and you can actually adjust the fill color, okay, of that particular image. And in doing so, what's kind of fun sometimes is using that texture, maybe, you know, in the background of sorts, or it's like a kind of rugged flyer, you know, kitchen tips, symphony. All right. All right, so we've got a little bit more excitement, I think, in this little layout of ours. And want us to kind of, let's put this aside over here really quick. So nothing's final yet, right? I'm going to save. I want us to go back into Photoshop, right? And I want us to open up that image, that garlic image again, because as you can see over here, it's kind of yellowish, right? The image itself needs some adjustment. So if we go into Photoshop, I'm going to open up the garlic file. Okay, and to adjust this image, so this is the one that is in our InDesign file. You can go to image adjustments and you can go to the layers. So image adjustments and then layers. And you can actually use your layers to kind of make an image brighter, manually if you would like. You can even, some of these I don't really fidget with, mostly this, just to make something a little bit brighter or not. And you also have the option of using these eyedroppers. So this, it like makes anything I touch the brightest point in the image, and that really helps. I would suggest that when you do use this one, use like kind of look at your picture first and see where is the brightest, because it might be unnaturally bright if you pick, let's say, this one. See? I think that is better. So I'm going to save this. And then I just went from Photoshop, save that image. And now when I go into InDesign, I can go here in my links panel, and that little yellow triangle basically means that I modified the file, and I did. I made the colors a little bit brighter. I double click on that and it updates it automatically. Okay, so very helpful. For my text, I know that I think I'm just going to have a couple paragraphs. So I'm going to adjust this a little bit. Kitchen tips. I'm going to put kitchen tips, kind of like a footer at the bottom. Very kitchen-esque. And if you remember correctly, now I'm going to open up my just make this a little bit larger. Okay. Maybe a little bit smaller. If you remember my original image, this is where it kind of can show. I had those little garlic illustrations, so I'm going to use them. So since it's in the same file, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste this image. And then I'm going to adjust it so you can see the garlic that I drew. Now, if you remember, this image I still have a lot of room before it gets to 100. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust it so the garlic is on kind of playfully on the bottom there. And okay, then the last thing I want to do is maybe add a stroke to my photo. So I'm going to select that frame. I'm going to go into my swatches, and this is the stroke. That's my fill. And I'm going to make the stroke black. Yeah, I'll do little hashes, can't really see it. I'll just do dots. Okay, dots. And then one more thing, I'll maybe add a really fun circle. Circle that has no color at the moment, so I'm going to add a gray. And I will put it behind everything. All right. And so I'm going to put it on top of this, and I actually can add a layer effect to that. And so I will multiply it. Keep it 100. Maybe yes, maybe no. I don't think so. And since we're here at the paragraph, one of the last things we'll do is pretend this was the beginning of your copy. So we're going to do same that. Use the typeface that was in the title. I know this is gibberish, but still. And I want to make it all caps, and I want to kind of have it stand out. So, as you can see, I'll just make sure that whatever I type, it is